In a world where the chatting average is no longer on 88.1 FM in Columbia, it has become only podcast driven. And I'm your host, John Lieber. And that's Adam Busak, along with John Sansoni.
Oh my God.
We're here with, once again, another episode of the chatting average.
Yeah, an emergency episode of the chatting average. This one was a very
Tim
big deal.
We had
There's been too much going on.
Breaking news, and we just had to jump on the horn really fast. I mean, just a handful of fascinating transactions over the last 48 hours. So I think, frankly, we should just jump straight into transactions. You guys good with that?
There's no time to wait. We have to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. There's no time like the present except for a week ago. So actually, we're going to start on January the 28th because we have three transactions on January the 28th. The Dodgers signed Kirby Yates. The Pirates signed Adam Frazier, and the Cubs signed John Birdie. Big day. Big day.
Okay,
John
Kirby Yates. I've got this.
That's
Kirby Yates
one.
signed a 1 year, $13 million deal.
Yeah.
Nice.
He gets an extra $500,000 each for 50 and 55 appearances, if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that money is deferred?
None of it. That's what I was looking for because it is the Florida Dodgers.
Wow.
Adam Frazier contract. 1 year, $1.525 contract with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Adam Frazier, who is 47 years old, signing with the Pirates, where he came up almost a decade ago. Good to see him back with the Pirates. If I had to predict, this is probably going to be his final season. You don't go back to where it all started for 1 year unless it's kind of end of the line. You know what I'm saying?
Not like he really has terribly much to give back to the game.
He's been a very serviceable player for a decade. Like, he's never been a great player, but he's been very serviceable. What
about John Birdie's contract before we go too far into analysis?
$2 million for 1 year. And that's it.
You know, I think $2 million is maybe a little more than I'd be willing to spend for John Birdie.
I would have gone prorated minimum. I'll be honest with you. I don't.
What is? Give me a second.
He's a lefty. I think he's a lefty swing. No, maybe he's a righty.
He's a righty.
I think he's a righty. He's a righty. He was a compliment to the lefty bats at first base for some reason. Remember that? John Birdie playing first base for the first time ever in the postseason.
In the postseason.
That's really what he provides, is just defensive versatility, and also a guy who just looks like a Yankee. He has like the wide sleeves, nothing on his, no batting gloves, wristbands, nothing. Clean shaven through his whole career, so he looks like. I've seen videos of people putting black and white filters over when he plays, and he looks like a 1940s baseball player. I promise you, he looks like a 1940s baseball player.
Well, the Chicago Cubs were also around in the 1940s, so we'll fit in just fine over there.
It's the pinstripe. I think it's the pinstripes.
Yeah, that's a point. That could definitely be a point. How do we feel about
something
pinstripes?
That works?
I agree.
Loved him.
I like pinstripes. They're nice enough.
Are we particularly moved by any of these three deals?
We're writing off John Birdie, and he hasn't even played yet. If he gets to what he did in 2023 and plays 140 games for the Cubs at any of the 9 positions that he can play, that's a solid signing for $2 million.
Right.
I mean, he hit 294 in 2023. And that was as an unprotected hitter in that Marlins lineup. I know that's not a lot. Kirby Yates.
He's like Ben Zobrist.
Who cares?
He's like Ben Zobrist if you made him a worse batter by a factor of 10.
Kirby Yates is a high value signing. I think we're just fatigued with the fact that the Dodgers keep signing high value players.
Totally fair.
A 3.3 WAR at the closer spot for the Rangers, 117 ERA, his second ever All-Star appearance, over 61 and 2/3 innings, to the tune of a 340 ERA plus, 340. That's the highest since
That's
his
really,
last
really
All-Star
good.
stint. Right. And the last time he had something that high was when he hit 354 ERA plus. That was his year in 2019, his last All-Star appearance as the Padres closer. So a guy who late in his career had to come back from Tommy John, built his career back up with the Braves and then the Rangers, now gets, a pretty big contract with the Dodgers, who frankly are just pushing people out of the way to sign high leverage free agents. And he joins a really good bullpen, a really good pitching staff, a really good team who just keep getting better and better and better. And I don't know where the Dodgers' critical mass is, but they seem to be approaching it.
There
If they
isn't.
haven't hit it now,
Yeah. Baseball's in a really good spot. I think we can all agree on that. I think baseball is as healthy as it's ever been, frankly. Moving
baseball's
forward,
great.
January the 29th, 3 deals this day as well. The Reds acquire closer Taylor Rogers from the Giants for cash considerations. The Rays sign Ha-Sung Kim, a bit unexpected there, and the Tigers throw their hat in the ring. They get Tommy Kahnle. Where do we want to start today?
The Canley deal is 1 year, 7.75, 7.75 million. Nothing special about that. I would like to, John Heyman tweeted today, multiple details from the Ha-Sung Kim contract. Would we like to hear them? Have we seen them?
Yes, I have not.
I have not seen this.
Okay. John Heyman tweets, Ha-Sung Kim, Rays, $29 million for 2 years with an option in 26.
Knew that.
$13 million made in 25. Okay. Player option in 26 is for 16 million.
Mm-hmm.
Plus incentives, plus interpreter, 100K a year, rehab trainer, 100K a year, and 8 round-trip business class tickets between Korea and the US per year with English lessons included, as well as in his contract the use of uniform number 7.
I like that. I actually really like it. These are the details that I want. I'm sure just about every player has stipulations like this in their contract, but this is the juicy stuff. I love hearing about this.
I do have one for Max Scherzer too from Heyman that he tweeted 9 minutes ago, as well as Randall Grichuk. So
okay, well, when we can
read
through
those
players,
when we read those. Yes.
On the subject of the numbers thing, so Ha-Sung Kim gets 7. Jose Caballero, the infielder that they acquired from the Mariners last year, had number 7. He switched to number 77, which is what he wore in Seattle, which makes him the second infielder pushed out for a big free agent to switch to a number in the 70s, with Miguel Rojas switching from 11 to 72 when the Dodgers signed Roki Sasaki. And I saw something about that where he was I don't remember who he was talking to. But it got brought up, why did you switch from 11? And he goes, I'll kind of give you the TLDR on that. It's he got a call from Andrew Friedman that he missed and was like, hey, you need to call me back. And so he freaks out. He thinks he's getting traded or DFA'd or something. And Friedman calls him and goes, hey, we're signing Roki Sasaki and he wants number 11. And he goes, you could have just texted me. So Miguel Rojas, for about a half a day, thinks he's getting cut, and instead he just has to switch his number. He's like, if it's helping the team get better, I don't care. It's a number. Anyway,
so Jose Caballero switching to number 77, which interestingly is also the number that Luka Doncic wore. He was in Dallas. Anyway, Tommy Kahnle.
Can't be much news about that.
That guy's 85 years old. How is he still in the league, dude?
Tommy Kahnle? No, he's not.
I vividly remember the Tommy Kahnle where he threw an entire inning of just changeups against the Braves.
All right, it was 35.
double digits change ups.
Yep.
And I remember sitting there being like, this guy is so annoying. Throw something else. But .8
I
WAR,
vividly
2.11
remember
ERA.
him as a Colorado Rocky in 2014, thinking this guy is awful, never going to stick around. And now a decade later, he's still getting contracts.
Yeah. So I mean, fine signing by the Tigers. It pushed out the reason for this emergency pod, Alex Fido. We'll talk about him later. But
No.
this is fine move for the Tigers. They do something.
I'm sorry you had to find out like this, John.
No. That was the first joke of having an emergency pod, though. Like,
It
guys,
was.
like looking through this list, we probably could have had an emergency pod on a couple days.
Yeah.
But we just decided not to.
Yeah. Taylor Rogers, Giants to the Reds, cash consideration's the only thing going back. That return feels very light for the Giants for a guy who's still a very serviceable closer.
Mm-hmm. You have to wonder if it was just they feel like with the emergence of the back half of their bullpen, especially with Camilo Duvall being up and down, you feel like Ryan Walker as well, as someone who's established himself.
He had a phenomenal year.
Right. And so you have to wonder if just that being at the 8-9, Taylor Rogers might have expressed, like, I don't really want to be a seventh inning middle relief guy. You think they might have just been like, all right, well, we don't really need anything else right now, kind of selling low on him. And, am I a little sad that he gets broken up from his twin brother Tyler?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. It's a fun little fact, but I don't particularly care. 1.1 WAR, 2.40 ERA is his highest. That's his highest WAR he's had in a long time. He hasn't had a WAR above 1.1 since 2019. So, hitting his stride with the Giants, good move from the Reds. They've been making a pretty decent offseason.
They've had a very strong offseason, in my opinion.
They have.
Gavin Lux notwithstanding, still don't know what that guy's doing there. But, pretty
playing
fine.
Playing a position, maybe.
He will
might have a bat in his
somewhere.
hand in spring.
You never know.
Taylor Rogers
and Tyler Rogers, of course, the pride of Chatfield Senior High. Their parents live just down the street from me. I drove past their house earlier today. Moving forward to the 30th of January, we've got 5 deals today, starting, of course, with the Toronto Blue Jays signing 42-year-old Max Scherzer. The Mets get in on the action. They sign Ryan Stanek. The Reds, once again, double dipping. They get Austin Hayes. The Padres get Elias Diaz. And the Oakland A's acquire Johnny Pareda from the Marlins for cash considerations.
All right, which contract would you like to hear first?
I think let's get the trade out of the way.
Okay, let's talk
Johnny
about
Pareda,
the trade real quick.
A guy that's played like 20 major league games. We're going to see a couple of these. This is just a really back-end leverage guy that's being dealt team to team because one team needs more depth. Simple as that.
All right, is that all you got?
It's not really a super heavy hitting trade there. It's just kind
of very nothing.
Which contract would you like to hear first?
Talk to me about Austin Hayes.
Austin Hayes.
Is that the one you didn't have
It's a
prepared?
1-year, $5 million deal with a mutual option worth $12 million in 2026, becoming an unrestricted free agent in 27. $1 million in incentives. 2026 mutual option includes a $1 million buyout if they don't bring him back, which I didn't know you can have a buyout when it's a mutual option because like both sides have to agree that I'm not working for you anymore.
Yeah, that's strange.
So do I have to get paid? I guess like it's not like your incentive to be like, yeah, I'm not working for you anymore because you're losing out on $15 million, but whatever. Hey, Austin Hayes, welcome to the Reds.
Yeah,
Austin,
this is.
Go ahead.
No.
Austin Hayes is a guy that I feel in his time in Baltimore just never really found his footing. A player that I think is a solid ball player, but isn't phenomenal by any stretch of the imagination. I think it would do him good. I'm not ready to consider him an everyday starter.
Part of the thing
I
for
think he's
me
a very.
is no. You go, John.
Please go. Please go. No, please go.
All right.
Please.
The one thing I just keep chomping at the bit to mention, he had a kidney infection last year when he was in Philadelphia, which actually stopped him from really producing at all after the trade. We don't know if he was really going to have a good change of scenery, which kind of plagued, the outfield shuffle kind of plagued the Phillies for a while, which has led to most of their offseason has been outfield focused. So I don't I think this is a fine move. I think Austin Hayes has still something to prove. I think the Orioles were always kind of out on him. He always kind of had one foot out the door because of the glut of prospects they had. Like there wasn't really I don't feel like they really wanted him to hit his stride in Baltimore because it would have proven that they needed to get rid of some younger, higher upside player. So I don't mind this move.
I don't mind it either. Okay.
He came
All right. Now it's Adam's turn. Go ahead, please.
It is. He came up in the Baltimore system at a very interesting time, right? Like he was right after the last peak that the Orioles had where they were a playoff team in the late 2010s, and then you had kind of like this Trey Mancini era where they kind of fought starting to the rebuild, and that's when Hayes came up. He didn't really have any other prospects come up around the same time as him. They weren't building a potential winner when he came up, so he was always somebody that was just a bridge player. And once you have more prospects, once you have this rebuild done, he's older. He just doesn't have a spot anymore.
You want to go, John?
May I go?
Yes.
I really like this deal. He's like a career 260, 270 hitter. Good fielder, too. Like, hey, throw him out in the outfield. I don't know if they have positions left for him to play in Cincinnati. They don't, by my count. So I don't know how that's going to work, but, whatever. Which one do you want to hear next?
Talk to me about Ryan Stanek.
All right. A 1 year, $4.5 million deal with the Mets. That's it.
Okay. I don't mind this. I think he's I feel like I remember someone saying the Tigers were in on him and then it flipped over to the Mets again. I mean, good, decent leverage bullpen arm. I think, right now what we're seeing with the Mets in the offseason, Alonso notwithstanding, is that they're trying to just keep the players they had last year. I don't know if they're just trying to keep whatever happened last year, which I feel like is more of a flash in the pan than anything. But I think that front office with David Stearns is seeing this as these players found their footing here. Don't mess with a good thing. That's kind of what they did with Shamanaya. Is like, just why not keep them here?
Yeah.
Elias Diaz to the Padres. This is just a depth signing. He's not going to be their starting catcher.
Former Rocky.
Yeah, it's a $1.5 million deal with a $7 million club option the next year. Former Rocky. Correct. Former All-Star Game MVP.
$7 million club option.
Yes, that is the, oh my God, if you become the MVP, we're re-signing you and holding you onto a $7 million deal.
This
if you
will
don't,
not happen.
Have fun signing somewhere else.
Hit the road.
I've heard that West Sacramento is beautiful.
I've also heard that.
Right.
Shall we?
$2 million
we want the Max Scherzer deal.
Yes, and the details. You told me you had details. I want the details.
I have details from John Heyman. He texted them to me myself. Just kidding. Max Scherzer, Blue Jays, $15.5 million for 1 year, plus $150,000 for Cy Young, or $125,000 for second place, $100,000 for third, $75,000 for fourth, or $50,000 for fifth. An extra $50,000 if he's an All-Star, an extra $50,000 if he wins the Gold Glove, an extra $50,000 if he wins the World Series or becomes MVP,
I'm not
and a
sure that
$25,000 incentive if they get to the league championship series. He also has a full no trade clause.
I'm hearing
Okay.
a lot of contract details that will not be exercised.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
I
And
don't.
I don't know, to a certain extent, for a player of his caliber, right? For a player of Scherzer's caliber, and yes, he's past his heyday. I think that is well established at this point. But at one point, he was the best pitcher in baseball, and if he can recapture that for a year, you have to. I mean, that's just how the game's played, frankly.
Yeah, I think he'll be great in Buffalo for the Bisons.
Shout out the Buffalo Bisons. Through 5 deals on the 30th. We move to the 31st. We'll start with the trade. The Orioles acquire Luis Vasquez from the Cubs for cash considerations. And then 2 major league signings. The Mets signing Nick Madrigal. And the Royals getting Carlos Estevez. Where do we want to start, fellas?
Let's get the trade out of the way.
I don't even know who Luis Vasquez is. I'm not going to lie.
Not to be confused with Luis Vasquez.
Not to be confused with Luis Vasquez. This is another very similar to the Johnny Pareda trade we discussed one day prior. Just a depth piece. It's a guy that's played like 25, 30 major league games. Going from one team that need depth to another, not going to have a major impact in the major league level, with all due respect.
Wait,
Nick Madrigal.
whose contract? Nick Madrigal.
Do you have
Son
thoughts
of
about
Oregon
Nick
State.
Madrigal, Mr. John?
I do. He's signing a 1-year, $1.35 million deal with the New York Mets, where he will. He's not getting called up, guys. He's
Well,
gonna
it
be
was
on
a
that
major
40-man
league deal,
roster.
wasn't it?
Yeah, he's gonna be on that 40-man roster for 162 games and have a great time at wherever the AAA stadium is.
Syracuse.
Wow, he probably won't have a great time.
Hard to have a great time at Syracuse. I've always said that.
Shout out.
I don't know. He'll probably play, but like, he's not good.
The term playing is relative. He's going to attempt baseball.
Like, this is the same guy who said he wanted. He not wanted. He practically promised White Sox fans that he was going to have 3,000 hits. You guys want to do a little check-in on that?
So
Let's do it. How many career hits?
I don't know. Let me look.
he has 238.
little inside baseball here. Oh, in what, 5 seasons?
In 5 seasons.
Boom.
So let's do some math here. 238.
He's a 3 career WAR. Career.
So he's averaging 46 hits a season. In order to get 3,000 hits, he would need to play 63 years at his current pace.
You guys know, objectively, it's very funny when I think back about when he first said that he was going to have 3,000 hits. And I ran the Nick Madrigal 3,000 hit career hit tracker Twitter account.
I'm sure that guy is enjoying his Twitter decision.
So
that was me.
Very quick before we move off of Nick Madrigal.
Sure.
A madrigal is defined as a short poem, often about love, suitable for being set to music. Typically, it was a Baroque style of singing.
Oh.
Here's the thing.
Nerd!
Nick Madrigal is not a love poem. In fact,
no.
I think if anyone wrote a poem about Nick Madrigal, it would be promptly burned. Nick Madrigal has not been good. He has not been the contact infielder that was promised. He's barely been promised. You know where he has been? Des Moines, Iowa, playing for the Iowa Cubs. There's nothing look, he might be the Jose Iglesias replacement, but like the Jose Iglesias that they thought
OMG.
the Jose Iglesias they thought they were getting, not the Jose Iglesias that happened, not the actual player Jose Iglesias, like the hypothetical pre-2024 Jose Iglesias, former Rocky.
Former Rocky. Rocky's legend as far as I'm concerned.
What do you
Nick
looking at,
Madrigal
John?
not moving the needle for the Mets. I think that's fair to say. Carlos Estevez possibly moving the needle for the Royals.
I really like this signing.
I do too.
It's a 2-year, $22.2 million deal with the club option worth $13 million in 27. No special anything after that. I was in the sports office when this happened, and it's nice. I like this deal. He's a 36 saves last year, or I think maybe it might be 26, 36, 26. Good. Even if you don't use him as your closer, or you do, you probably do, right? Like
You probably do. I mean, who else do the Royals have?
Jordan Lyles. He's the best guy out of their bullpen.
Lucas Urseg.
Okay, those two. And
I would
wouldn't be
take
surprised.
Estevez probably.
I think they'll probably they'll go 8-9 with Ursig at 8. Like,
yeah,
that is a move by a team that is showing the league and showing their division that, like, hey, no, when you get to this 8th and 9th inning, you're not scoring. You're not even going to get on base. We have two guys in our bullpen that are just going to shut you down. And, like, that's what you need. I mean, like, I think about, like, when the White Sox won the division in 21, and it was, Liam Hendricks would come in for a 3-out save or a 4-out save, and it would be like, all right, cool, game's over. I don't have to pay attention. Like, this game is done. These two guys are shutting you down, and it was like, whatever, Crochet and him back-to-back, or Bummer him back-to-back, and it was like, yeah, no, I love that signing for the Royals.
The last time that the Royals really had a solid ball club, when they went to those back-to-back World Series in 14 and 15, they had 3 guys out of the bullpen that were legit stratified stars, right? In Hochevar, and then you go to Davis, and then you go to Holland. All 3 of them were phenomenal. They all had phenomenal years. And I think that you might see a bit of a repeat of that between Hunter Harvey, Lucas Ursay, Carlos Estevez right now. These aren't phenomenal relievers, but if they can turn into what we know they can be, I think this is going to be a very strong bullpen.
For sure.
Agreed.
Shall we move forward? Any final thoughts on that one?
Please move forward.
We move forward. The 1st of February. Nothing. The 2nd of February. This is a big one. The Tigers bringing back Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, I've got it if you want me to read it.
Please.
2-year, $35 million deal. That's $25 million this year, $10 million in a player option the year after, then unrestricted free agent. What?
2 years, 35 is way less than I expected for a player of Flaherty's caliber. It makes sense that it's front loaded. I think there's some boosters involved. They can make his second year 25 million, 10 million. But still, 2 years, 35 is way less than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, I thought generally that this guy was going to sign for a ton of money and at a contender.
Yeah, I thought both of those things as well.
Not to be rude to Detroit, but
the Tigers could still be considered a contender. I think they've done enough this offseason to address their needs. And they were a playoff team last year.
I think this is a very savvy move by the Tigers front office. I think they really, I don't know if it was just that that there was some sort of underlying thing that like Flaherty's camp was overvaluing him, or that other teams were undervaluing him, and that this was like a settled deal. But like, we know that Flaherty likes the Tigers. He started his season he started his season there last year. I I think it's kind of funny that this is one of those players where, teams go out and do the whole, well, we'll trade him away and maybe we'll try to get him back in the offseason. And like this time it actually worked. And it's for a player who the guy where you traded him was the World Series champions. And you still got him back. And he'll anchor that rotation for you. It'll be Skubal and Flaherty, 1-2. I'm very interested to see a season.
I was going to say, I kind of figured he was a Scott Boras agent or guy. He's not.
Is he not?
Currently signed. No, he signed with CAA, which is the same people who just signed Joe Biden to a.
I was
to a
just
deal.
about to
So,
say
That is
that.
true. Jack Flaherty and Joe Biden, technically co-workers.
Technically, no. CAA works for him technically. All right. Anyways, I like it. It's cheap. Obviously, it's smart for the Tigers. Like, he agreed to it. Why not bring him back?
Yeah. I think we all had a little bit of apprehension when the rumors started circling about the Tigers being in on that last stint with the Tigers went for Flaherty. Obviously, he played a lot better in Los Angeles, where he's from. I think there was some thoughts that maybe Los Angeles would be a natural. But I think he'll be fine in Detroit. I do.
Want to move on?
We
For
shall
sure.
to the 3rd of February. And a big day.
This is why the pod is happening.
3 deals on the 3rd of February. The first one is the Mariners. They signed Jorge Polanco. And then the Pirates, they signed Tim Mayza. And the reason for the emergency podcast. The Tampa Bay Rays acquire Alex Fadio from the Tigers for catching prospect Anderson Delgado.
This was crazy.
Where do we even start, boys?
I think we have to start. We have to start with the one that brought us here, Alex Fadio.
We hardly knew he.
This is someone I think the Rays should be really excited about. A .6 WAR last season, a 3.61 ERA, big righty arm in the bullpen. And in all seriousness,
something tells me you're lying.
In all
Something
seriousness,
tells me you might be lying.
This is a guy who got DFA'd by the Tigers when Tommy Kahnle came to town. He might have some good underlying metrics that I think the Rays pitching lab might tap in on, but right now it's not looking too great because they're not going to be in a climate-controlled environment this year. They're going to be out in not real Steinbrenner Field in the middle of Tampa summer. So that's, that humidity, you don't know how it's going to affect your relievers for a full season playing outdoors versus, half your games are going to be played in a dome. So I think this is an intriguing one. The Rays pitching lab, their reputation precedes them. But this is more than anything is just we need a depth bullpen guy. You just let go of a depth bullpen guy. We have a catcher that's not really going anywhere for us. Let's make a deal.
When we talk about the name Anderson Delgado, though, that's an 80 grade name. Plus guy.
Is it Anderson or Enderson?
Enderson.
With an E.
With an E.
Like Henderson without an H.
Correct, yeah.
Have
you ever read the book series Ender? It's like that, but if you had a kid.
Oh, yeah. See, part of me wonders if it was someone read Henderson in Spanish not pronouncing the H and then just wrote down Enderson. Like Ricky Henderson. And then they dropped the H and they named him after a Henderson, but the H sound didn't exist, so it's Enderson. I think I broke John.
I think you broke John. You should have seen the look that he was giving you when you started breaking that down.
But think about it.
No, I'm actually not going to think about that at all.
I think he's just named Anderson.
He might just be. I'm just trying to break down the etymology of it. Okay. I haven't heard him be named Anderson before.
Okay, well now you have. Do we have thoughts on Tim Mayza or Jorge Polanco?
I'd like to show you my impersonation of Tim
Careful how
Mayza
you
on the
finish
mound.
that sentence. You want to show me what?
I'd like to show you my impersonation of Tim Mayza on the mound.
Please.
Sure, go ahead. Oh my god.
Oh, he's standing up. This is big time.
He didn't even make
Okay.
his bed.
No,
His head is definitely not in frame.
Okay, so
He's backing up enough that he's in frame. For those of you listening on the audio, he's leaning forward.
Oh, yeah,
he's
I
now
call it-
come set.
He goes like this.
He's bent at the waist. He's now stepping forward and forward and forward more.
He's doing like a kinky boots leg lean and then goes underhand slot.
I love underarm slot guys. Tim Mayza, we wish the best for you.
Anyway,
right. His deal
Jorge
is
Polanco. Whoa, sorry,
Hey,
Mayza,
hey.
sorry, whoa.
for $1.15 million. The Jorge Polanco deal. Is that what you want to hear now, John?
Yes, John.
I think that's exactly what he wants to hear, frankly.
$7.75 million for 1 year, opt out in 2026.
Polanco's always been a serviceable second baseman.
But they're putting.
He's the kind of guy that.
I've
Okay.
got more.
Okay.
Player option for 26 is $6 million or $750,000 buyout if the player has 450 plate appearances in 25 and passes a physical. Player option rises to $8 million with 550 plate appearances. And $3.5 million in incentives with a full no trade clause for the year of 2025.
A no trade clause is kind of interesting because Polanco is a big. He's a serviceable second baseman, which is a position that isn't necessarily premium right now. Like there's 3 or 4 guys who are elite second basemen, and past that, it's kind of a lot of league average players. If you're league average or above, you can do a very, very, very fine job in the free agency market, and you can do a very fine job on the trade market. So I'm a little surprised to see a no trade. That to me seems a little bit like the Mariners handcuffing themselves, but also I kind of understand it.
Yeah, I don't honestly care about them re-signing him. I'd like for them to just do something in the season to make me care what team Jorge Polanco is on.
The idea of this coming season, he played second base almost exclusively for them last year, besides DH. They're going to move him to third. That's where they have him projected the most. He hasn't played third very much in his career. I think he's only logged 2 separate seasons. He's logged an inning at third base. So far, he's played. I'll get you an exact number. He has played 24 of his career games at third base. 180 innings out of the 7,599 total. So not exactly the most experienced at third base. He's done it before, but I'd look to that, especially defensively this year.
Where's Eugenio Flores?
He signed somewhere, didn't he?
Arizona. I thought he re-signed in Arizona.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, yeah.
Let me check that.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
He is, in fact, in Arizona.
Yep.
Yeah.
We shall move forward to today. At the time of recording, the 4th of February. 3 days today, the Yankees signed Tim Hill. The Orioles signed Ramon Liriano. And breaking about 2 minutes before we started recording, the Arizona Diamondbacks have signed Randall Grichuk.
All right. I've got these for you. I'm going to run through them very quickly. The Hill Yankees deal is $2.85 million. With $2.5 million in salary and a $350,000 buyout for the 2026 club option. Vince Velasquez also went to the Guardians today on a minor league deal. Ramon Liriano, $4 million to the Orioles. Orioles holding onto an option for $6.5 million in 2026. The Randall Grichuk deal in full is $5 million for 25, opt out in 26. Mutual option in 26 for $5 million or a $3 million buyout, plus $250,000 for each of 200 and 275 plate appearances, plus an extra $250,000 if he's traded. Just once, though.
Only once.
Only once.
Okay.
Guys, Tim Hill. This is the I called 911 when that happened.
I
dialed
911 was down
911.
yesterday.
Nope.
Yeah, I heard they cut
Columbia-
funding to that.
Today?
No, Columbia was down yesterday.
Correct.
Yeah.
Columbia.
Anyway,
Mo Liriano
Columbia.
is intriguing for the Orioles, who have now signed 78 outfielders this offseason. He's somebody that has never been as good as he was when he was still on steroids. But as a fourth outfielder, he could be serviceable. Unfortunately, they already have 5 fourth outfielders, so I don't really know what he does for them.
Plays good defense.
it's
You
true.
could say the same about Randall Grichuk.
He was good down the stretch
Say
for
the
the
same
Braves.
about
Yeah, Grichuk
isn't
had
on the Orioles.
a decent second half of the year for them. He's a defense first guy. I mean, there's not too much more to it than that. Another failed former Cardinal.
John,
Any
what do you
final
think about?
thoughts? Go
What do you
ahead.
think about
Add
Tim
him to the
Hill?
list.
I don't know why I keep doing that with my chin. Hold on. Wait. What
What do you think about Tim Hill?
do you think about Tim Hill, John?
John, what do you think about Tim Hill?
I think his name is Tim, and he may be a hill.
What do we-
I don't even
Tim
know
Hill.
why I asked.
All right, that is us up to date as of an hour ago on the free agent market. A lot of gigantic deals this week, as you can tell, which really just necessitated this emergency podcast. However, there is one piece of news that we're really missing from the baseball world from the last week. This is something that I think, frankly, we just have to dive into. This is earth-shattering news, and this, of course, is that New Era Ball Cap has announced the official spring training hats of Major
Guys, I
League
forgot to do
Baseball
this.
for this spring training endeavor. And I have tasked both of you with pulling up a list of your top 10 favorite hats. And I have it on our show notes document. I texted the same graphic to you, so you can use either one. We'll start. It appears Mr. Lieber might need some more time. So, Mr. Santoni, please run through your top 10 for me. Sansoni.
I'll let that one slide. Number 10 for me.
Santoni.
Santoni.
See, I think the back half of this list was a little harder for me than the front half.
Completely agree.
I liked the Red Sox at number 10.
Okay.
Red hat, or red body, blue bill, white B. And it's just they already have good colors. Red, white, blue red, white, navy is really it's a classic baseball color scheme. You don't see them wear red hats. This is just an interesting inversion on it, and I think it's the kind of gothic B is a very classic logo in baseball. I think they didn't need to stray from it, and I really like it.
For my number 10, I have the Baltimore Orioles. I think kind of for a lot of the... I think in my mind, a spring cap is something that is very iconically different from what you wear in the regular season. And this orange ball cap is very different from what the O's wear in the regular season. You also have the script O, which I think looks good. The body of the hat and the bill, very different colors, and orange black, they contrast well. This is not a phenomenal hat, but I think it's very serviceable.
John?
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Okay, so basically the way I'm reading this, based on what you guys picked, are just like one of the ones that just looks good, but it's just the logo.
Yes, I'm sure, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just have my top 10, and that was the 10th best.
I'm just gonna go with the at 10. I'm gonna go with the Padres.
Interesting.
I kind of like that color.
I actually hate the Padres hats. So you and I disagree very
It's
strongly.
mono gold with a brown SD for those of you who don't have
and
the
that's what
pull
I'm
in front of
picking.
you.
Screw off, guys.
Okay. Hey, if you like pee and poo colors, this is the hat for you.
Maybe I do.
All right.
So
All right,
move
we're
to
all
number
adults.
9.
Let's
Hang
move
on.
on.
I'm gonna ask a question for the class.
Go right ahead. Before
the hat in the top right?
Cubs.
That is the Cubs. Yes.
It's a walking bear.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to point out that I'm currently wearing a San Diego Padres hat as I express how much I dislike their color scheme. And the hat that I'm wearing is blue and gray because that's what they should go back to. On to number 9, Mr. Sansoni. What do you have for number 9?
I'm gonna ignore that color scheme comment about the Padres. I think
It's
it's
true.
unique.
It's
I think
true.
but I think I had a hat. I don't know where it went. Where it was like cream with the Swing and Friar logo
Mm.
and had like brown accenting. Very nice. Um, Number 9 for me. I had the Baltimore Orioles at my 9. For similar reasons to what you expressed. They don't use the O's standalone very often. I think you see it a lot. You see it a lot in the context of on the hat of the Oriole in their logo. But I really like it. I think it's the ideal spring training cap for me is that the body of it is bright, and
Yeah,
I think
agree.
I like having that. I like having the contrast. I like having the two different colors for the bill and the body. So it slots in pretty comfortably at a number 9. None of these hats are particularly terrible, but this is a ninth best one.
There's a couple of them that I think are really terrible. However, my number 9 is not terrible. That for me is the Philadelphia Phillies. Kind of went back and forth on this one. I don't love hats where the body and the bill are the same color, especially for spring training. This is your chance to branch out and kind of look a little bit more crazy, but at least the red is bright. It's kind of iconic. And I love that alternate Phillies logo using the victory bell. I just really, really, really like that.
I'm gonna just come out and say I disagree, but only because I don't like the bell on their hats.
Interesting.
And that's just like a personal opinion. Like I get why
Which
people
is
like
so
it. I think
fine.
it's a cool logo. Like it's a cool logo, but I just don't like it on their hat. Which is why my number 9 is the Blue Jays. This hat's great.
At
You
9?
know, I can see Bus's rankings on the page.
The
And I
one
know
that
why
he
he's surprised.
specifically told you not to look at.
Super secret hat rankings. Do not weed if your name is John or John. Literally. I like it a lot. Just the same hat that you wear in the season.
There's a point to be made there. That's a fair point.
John, you're number 8.
Yeah, my number 8. I had the Diamondbacks. I'm going against my cardinal rule here of the bill and the body being different, but the Diamondbacks have come back to teal. This is something they moved away from when they went from the purple and teal to the red and sand, and then they went back to red and teal. Frankly, it's so ridiculous, but I can see it working in specifically a Diamondbacks context.
Hey, Adam, you know what I just did to you?
Yeah.
He just did to me.
So here's the thing about the Diamondbacks that I don't have them in my top 10 at all. So clearly we all feel very differently about this hat.
Which is good. This is good.
This is good. I think the teal is extremely over the top when you don't have a bill kind of to accent it or to offset it a little bit. That's just something that I could never personally envision myself wearing. I understand where you're coming from, however. For me, if we're talking really bright, really interesting, I think my number 8 and number 7 picks both do that well. We'll start with number 8. That's the Marlins. They're going back to that light blue that's kind of been in and out of their color scheme for, I don't know, a decade now. They're really, really pushing that electric light blue and a black bill to offset it that matches that Marlins M logo. I think it's just a clean looking hat.
John?
My number 8, I'm going to go with the team that pays for everything 76 years down the line. And the Dodgers here.
Doyers. Oh, Doyers.
Los Dodgers. Very simple blue, Dodger blue hat. The scripty, I just like it. They basically took it off the jersey and went, and it's there now. I like it. It's simple. It makes the top 10.
All right, number 7 for me. The Yankees have 2 hats. I put their road hat at number 7. This is a gray body Yankees NY interlocked, and then the navy bill. They have 2. The other one is vertical pinstripes I didn't really like that. I feel like it's doing a little too much. But someone doesn't agree with me. Adam looked at me. Isn't it really funny how I said it's doing too much and I put the teal bomb at number 8?
Yeah, I think that's very funny.
Look, man, let me be a hypocrite. All right, this is feelings only.
See,
But yeah,
hypocrisy.
Yankees roads. I flipped between this one and the White Sox about which
Ooh.
of like the kind of gray hats I liked more, but I landed on the Yankees. John's grimacing because I mentioned the White Sox, but
No, I just
honestly,
hate the hat.
honestly, came down to the bill. So
I think I would agree with you as far as the grays go. I think the one with the offset color
you'll get there.
on the bill is the one that looks a lot better. I just like offset bills in general. I just think that looks better on a hat in general. It is worth mentioning because you did mention, John, that the Yankees have a home and away jersey. We only have 30 hats on our page right here. The Pirates have not yet been announced, so they're not
No, they
included
have.
in these rankings. I probably should have said that to begin with. That's on me.
Wait, oh,
That's on
what?
me.
They're not. They did release it though.
It's not included. Not included in this this
Okay,
graphic.
well, they're on my top 10.
Are they?
Okay, well,
I
they can
haven't
be
seen
on
them.
your top 10. I haven't seen them either, so find a picture and put it in the thing, but we won't rank them. You can.
It is a black hat with the
Bro,
Jolly
hey,
Roger.
it's not time. With what?
The grimacing pirate Jolly Roger logo.
Grimace?
Grimace? I hear.
Thank God he's not on.
Uncle
who's-
Grimacy is back.
Adam, who's your number 7?
My number 7 is another team that I think does the bright colors very well. That is the Seattle Mariners. They have their teal as the body, the black as the hat. If I have to critique this hat, I will tell you that I think the logo and the body of the hat are a little bit too similar. They're not quite offset enough. And that bugs me a little bit, but I just think this is a very iconic color, very iconic logo. I think it's good over.
My number 7 is the Los Texas Rangers. Regular tee, their baby blue color hat, very nice, very pretty. Doesn't make it up higher just because I think there's hats that look as nice as this one does, but I think, like we've said across the board, is that different colored bill helps.
Definitely. Mr.
So,
Sansoni on a 6.
Number
Well,
6 for
Sansoni.
me is actually the Pirates.
Okay.
Raise the Jolly Roger.
I hoist the Jolly Roger.
The
And a lot of it
just
for
Googled-
me is. Go ahead.
I just Googled this hat, and I think it is ugly as dirt. But
Okay.
please,
Wait.
go ahead.
Live reaction. Pirates spring training at 25. Wait. Oh no, that's cool.
It's a black hat with the Jolly Roger with the crossed bats, right? I really like it. I think it's a logo they don't use enough. I think that's a very nice logo. I think it, they moved away. Obviously, the classic branding with the yellow kind of gothic P makes sense, right? I generally like the Pirates branding, but I do think that that's a logo that deserves its time in the sun.
I think that's fair. That's I think spring training is the time to wear it because God knows they won't during the regular season. My number 6.
Nutting.
In kind of that exact same frame of mind as the Chicago Cubs. Light blue on top, darker blue on the bill, an alternate logo that you kind of never see. I think this is a decent look for the Cubs. It's not the only light blue on top, dark blue on the bill that Oilers. I think this is the one of these two that was done the worst.
My number 6 is the A's. Their yellow base hat and bill, the green A. Speaking off of your pick on the Cubs are higher up on my board.
Same.
And I think if the A's were a real organization, that instead of the A, it would be the elephant on the hat this year. I think that's exactly what this hat looks like it should have had on it. But I still like the hat in general.
I think that's totally fair.
Number 5 for me, I had the Tigers. I like the tiger. I think the
Okay.
tiger is actually not that much of their branding. The orange in the tiger's branding is very minimal, right? You see, their City Connect is blue. Their home is just the white navy. You only see it in the accenting on the script and the numbers in their road jerseys. That's all you see it from, because they only wear home road City Connect. So I think this is a color that is underappreciated in the Tigers color palette, which is kind of a shame because they're the Tigers. You know, with notable exceptions, if you're a Tiger that has orange in your color scheme, it feels kind of out of place to not use it. So, but I like it here. I think it's, it's kind of the same reason why I put the Pirates on here. It's an alternate logo. Let it have some fun.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree. I don't love the logo, but I love the use of orange. I see where you're coming from. My number 5, I hinted at it last turn around. Light blue on top, dark blue on the bottom. It's a Kansas City Royals. Close to a perfect hat. Beautiful looking hat.
Lone Jeeper.
My number 5, didn't realize he was done there, is the Tampa Bay Rays hat, or the Steinbrenner Field hat Rays. They're blue, yellow brim, whatever that logo is. I don't know what that logo is.
It's a
A
sun
ray
ray.
of sunshine. A ray of sunshine. Love it. Cool. Great job. You're actually going to play in the sun too this year? Crazy how that works. Yeah, love the hat. That's my number 5.
It's a really good looking hat.
Number 4 for me, and I'm loath to say it, I liked the Mets hat.
Oh,
I
no.
I think Mr. Met wearing sunglasses is kind of funny. I think blue and orange is an interesting color scheme. I think, as much as I don't like to say it, I think the Mets pull off blue and orange very well. Two-toned hat. I'm glad. I think part of me's glad that they didn't go with black. The Mets have been leaning very heavy into the era where they wore black alternates. I think I'm just glad that, unlike Iowa State, they actually acknowledge the fact that they have colors.
I still like their black alternates, to be clear.
I like
their
them.
black alternates are perfect as well.
But
have you seen the black alternates that they're changing to this year?
Not good.
Not as good as their last ones were, unfortunately.
Okay, anyways, you're number 4.
I am a man who owns a hat with Mr. Met on it. It's a spring training hat from 2017, 2018, something like that. White front, blue back of the body, and a blue bill. I think that one looked a lot better. I think the current Mr. Met is just a little too goofy for me. I don't like it. My number 4 is the Sacramento A's. I like that bright yellow. I like the green with it. I think it would be higher if it was the elephant, as Mr. Lieber has expressed before. I completely agree with him.
My number 4 is the Cubs, and I believe that was already talked about. I really like that logo. To be honest, can I make an adjustment to my list right here?
Oh, no.
Number 4 is actually going to be the New York Yankees pinstripes. And I'll just give a sneak peek. Number 3 will be the Cubs.
I like it.
I just those two switch for me. I like that.
Mr. Sansoni.
Number 3 for me. Then 3 for me is at Chili's.
Only at Chili's.
They don't pay us yet. Don't give them an ad.
Okay, we went there last night though.
That's true.
Oh, dude,
the next 3 hats are all blue. Number 3, the Marlins.
Me when I can tell my colors.
The Marlins, I like it.
I like the Marlins kind of electric blue. It feels more Miami. I feel like Miami teams kind of they work the best when they're embracing kind of a bright, like kind of out there color schemes. Why I like the Miami Heat's Vice alternates. I like this. I like what the Marlins color scheme is. I do wish the Dolphins would go back to their like throwbacks, but that's besides the point.
Completely agree.
But just kind of a good overall cap.
It's a solid cap. It fits the vibe of the city. I feel the same way about the Tampa Bay Rays, who are my number 3. I love that the yellow on the bill and the yellow match. I think this baby blue is the best baby blue that we have out of any of these crops, and I am outspoken as to saying every Major League Baseball team should consider baby blue as part of their color scheme because it's a perfect baseball color. Mr. Lieber.
I have the Cubs at 3. You don't like the Rangers baby blues?
I think the
Not
bill.
the hat, just their logo in general, like that version of their uniforms in general.
I like them.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
All right.
Yeah, I like all baby blues. I'm pro baby blue in general. I think more teams should wear
John,
baby blue.
you're number 2, John.
My number 2, my phone locked. Hold on. My number 2 is the Tampa Bay Rays. Similar reasoning as Adam. I like the contrast. I think I like the sunburst logo. I think they went with the actual Ray last year, or in recent memory. I feel like I've seen the Ray as part of their branding, like the Manta Ray.
That's their City Connect.
Right, and they had some They've gone with the Devil Rays alternate.
Okay.
They've
Yes,
used it
yes,
in the
yes,
past.
yes.
Yeah,
So
that's correct.
I think I like having this more even balance between the Ray and the Sunburst logo. So it's good. I think it's good to get this one out of the way because you're going to see in season. Fans are going to want Devil Rays and the kind of skating Ray City Connect.
Definitely. I mean, when your team nickname is a double entendre, you kind of have to play into both halves of it at a certain point. My number 2 is the Yankees pinstripe hat.
The Yankees.
A team that has not changed their branding in 137 years. Branching out a little bit and going a little bit wacky. Pinstripes on the hat is not something that you really see in any sort of game situation. I think it's very fashionable. I just like seeing the Yankees take this risk. I think it turned out well. Simple as.
My number 2 is the Seattle Mariners. The only thing I would change about this hat would be flipping the bill and the hat color.
Oh, that would have made it look much better.
Yeah,
Mr. Sansoni?
I can see that. Closing it out, this is the one we've touched on a bit. My best hat of spring training is the Chicago Cubs. I really like this walking Cub logo. I really like the two-tone blue. That's why their Wrigleyville City Connects are some of my favorites. I really like how the blues interplay with each other. Just overall, a very sensibly constructed hat.
My number 1 is the Toronto Blue Jays. Yes, it looks similar to something that they could wear during the regular season, but I think that's a credit to them. I like having the white offset the darker blue at the back of the hat, the white at the front of the hat. You have the light blue on the bill. I think a 3-toned hat is something that more teams should employ. This is a perfect looking hat. I would buy one today.
My number 1 is the Snakes Alive, the Arizona Diamondbacks. I love that logo. I love every logo that the Arizona Diamondbacks have ever had.
They play for Rings in the Desert.
I know that people don't like the Los Serpientes City Connects.
Oh,
They're
those
awesome.
are so nice, though. Those are so nice.
I like
the color of those hats are awesome. And honestly, guys, I think that's a great way to wrap up our spring training hat rankings. However, if any of you want to go buy them, they're $48.
This is true.
So let's
hats
move on to
hats
Immaculate
are expensive,
Grid.
dude. Hats are
and make
expensive.
some
This is Joe
money.
Biden's America.
Well,
Not anymore.
It's Joe Biden's
Not
economy.
anymore.
It's Joe
Kind
Biden's
of.
economy. All right. Immaculate Grid is a 3x3 grid with 9 intersections. You have to make those intersections match, right? For example, column 1 is the Washington Nationals. Row 1 is the LA Dodgers. You have to make one guy who fits that one spot. Column 2 is the Atlanta Braves. Column 3 is 40-plus WAR career. Row 2 is the Milwaukee Brewers. And row 3 is played shortstop a minimum of 1 game.
Do we have any ready to go for this?
Braves Dodgers. I've got 2.
I
would be okay with either Kevin Pillar or Luke Williams.
Ooh.
What do we think?
I'm fine with Luke Williams.
Luke Williams, 0.1.
I'll be honest, you guys froze for a second there, and I was worried that the whole Wi-Fi went out.
We lost
That would have been
it.
bad.
No. No, but yeah, Luke Williams, backup infielder, wears number 65, same as when Spencer Strider came up.
Ah, nice.
It's a good number to
Sorry.
wear, as far as I'm concerned.
For an infielder?
Yes.
Mhm.
Dodgers Nationals. Steven Souza
Sure.
Jr. I mean,
Correct.
he's a junior.
Assumed.
Point 2.
Team applying.
I
Very
have-
nice.
I have an Atlanta Braves shortstop,
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Daniel Castro.
Yeah.
Sure. .03.
Oh yeah, come on! I have a
Brewers
Daniel
Nationals.
Castro poster.
Brewers Nationals. I'm thinking Joe Ross. He was pitching out of the bullpen for
That's
the
a good one.
Brewers this year. Joe
Ross. 2%.
Dang. All right. Well, I thought it'd be lower. Did we get a Brave Brewer?
No, we need one.
Okay. I mean, I guarantee you, number one answer there is Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
Henry Hank Aaron. I'm
So
thinking
let's
either
not choose that one.
Brian Anderson
Okay.
or Alex Jackson,
Alex Jackson for sure.
Alex Jackson.
current Rays backstop. Alex Jackson.
.05.
Hey, that'll
you go.
play.
There you go. Also
I
on that
feel
list
like
could be
as far as Dodgers Brewers 40+ WAR career goes, you're gonna have to go with the player that wasn't really remembered for a 1-year or 2-year stint with this particular team. So for that reason, I think for the Dodgers, I would like to nominate Zach Greinke.
Sure. Are we sure he's there?
40 more. I'd be shocked if he isn't.
He's .8 there.
Hey, that'll play.
Shortstop for the Nationals. Noted Red Sox prospect at one point, Jeter Downs.
Oh yeah.
I was also going to say Mark DeRosa, but up to you guys.
I like Jeter Downs better. By the way, Zach
I also
Greinke
like-
currently sitting at 77.5 career WAR. So
Okay. We need a Brewers 40 career WAR and a played shortstop 40 career WAR.
So this is someone who's got 40 career WAR and has maybe played shortstop like once.
Exactly.
or we could think of
Correct.
a very good shortstop that people don't think of. One of the two.
You know, I think didn't Ryan Zimmerman play shortstop?
Let's go to the board.
Because like I feel
We
like
still
he
need-
did actually go around. He played third and first, right? Like I feel like he slid over at one point.
We can check for you, my brother. Yes, one game in 2005.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And he also has, Ryan Zimmerman has 40.1 WAR. I also think we have lost Bus, and we will finish this as quickly as possible. His computer has died. We need a Brewer with 40+ career WAR.
A Brewer with 40+ career WAR.
That's what I said.
I was more so just confirming that you said that.
And I was confirming what you wanted me to confirm. John.
Okay, cool.
Jeez. We have beef. I want to
We
start
don't
that
have
right
beef.
now.
No, we
Anybody
don't.
who's listening,
No.
me and John don't like each other.
We don't have beef. Felipe Alou.
Felipe Alou.
A-L-O-U. A-L-O-U.
I got it. Point 2. John?
John?
Hey, good work.
Oh,
Good
Oh,
work.
hey, hello, Adam. Rarity score 4 today, audio listeners.
Good work.
A 4. The hottest square was Brewers National, in which we used Joe Ross.
Joe Ross.
You know what, guys? That was another perfect chatting average episode.
Every
Thank you for
episode we've
listening.
ever done has been perfect as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, well, he's right. Is he just like on his phone? What are we on
he's
right
his
now?
phone.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm on.
Beautiful. Adam's here to listen to me outro the episode. Thank you for listening. If you want to find us on Twitter, it's the chatting ABG. You can find us there. It's also called X now. Not now. It happened like 2 years ago. The Everything app. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, John's Smart Fridge.
You can find us there. You can find John in the freezer as well.
You can find Adam
there.
near Denver, Colorado. You can find John near Columbia, Missouri. You can find me near Columbia, Missouri.
Where can you
Go
find
get yourself
Jason
a walk.
Giambi?
Probably not in Columbia, Missouri. You can find Carrot Jackson in Columbia, Missouri.
That
Go
is
get
true. I
yourself a
did hear
library
about that.
card. Thank you for listening to The Chatting Average. And we'll be back next week with yet another groundbreaking episode after Alex Faedo gets DFA'd.